Without Fear and book writing expert. I help you overcome your fears in life and with writing. I offer an online course called Believe You Can Write, and I support you with one-on-one coaching. Get in touch with me for a first call or order my biography, Living Without Fear, on Amazon. And please share this podcast with a friend who you know needs to hear this episode. And why not giving this podcast a 5-star review so that many more people will find this episode? So today I'd like to talk about how I'm touched about the feedback I get to my new book publication, Living Without Fear, and also about the YouTube channel, which I don't have a lot of subscribers. It's about around 60 people. But when I look at the statistics, this month or the past months, people were listening during more than 6 hours to my podcast I publish on YouTube. And I mean, this is amazing. I feel so touched that you take notice what I'm doing and you're following me. And the other day I had a call with someone living on the Seychelles, and she was telling me that she was listening to my podcast, and I felt so excited and so touched that me staying here in Switzerland producing this podcast and someone far, far away in the Seychelles is listening and taking what she needs to take from it. So this is beautiful. And I'd love to tell you also how touching it is to get the feedbacks on the book I really was so afraid of publishing, because it's, as people write to me, they get really touched by the content, how I share all my struggles which I have with my parents in the beginning, with my mother, with my father, and also finding a job after my studies and feeling unseen and unheard and not loved at all. And I was always comparing myself to my other colleagues at the newspapers. So I was struggling so much. And it's beautiful to know that these times they won't come back anymore, because I followed my heart when I had my first mentor and I started writing books. I started small. I started with a children's book. But now, finally, Living Without Fear is out and everybody can read my story. And the thing I was always thinking, who is going to read my story and who is going to take notice of it and maybe take something of it? And now I feel that although it has been such a huge, how do you say that? Huge getting out of the comfort zone and overcoming my fears and forgetting about all the negative thinking and just putting out my book. It was worthwhile. And the more I hear that it's really helpful, my book, I feel so content. I feel fulfilled. And this is such an amazing feeling. And sometimes I think, well, now I've done what I always wanted to do, and I could leave this world because this book is like my legacy. But actually now it's it goes on, or there are new steps with the first reading, and to present myself in front of an audience, and maybe nobody's coming. That's my fear. But I'm sure there will be some people. And also, I continue with doing my work with my 2 boys, which I recently noticed how much I've grown, because a few years ago, you should have heard myself talking about my 2 boys. Now they're 17 and 19. And I was struggling with them and always blaming for them for not doing the right thing. And since I was working more on myself and looking at my things, they got relaxed and they opened up themselves. They tell me things they wouldn't have told me before. And the most important thing and the most beautiful thing for me is they say thank you many, many times a day. I can't believe it. Sometimes a few times they say, thank you, Mom. Thank you for doing this little thing. It was nothing. I just cooked for them lunch, or I just clean a small thing in the house. And they say, thank you, Mom. And this is so beautiful for me, because I didn't tell them to say thank you. They just do it naturally. And I think it's because I've grown and I've changed, and I became more respectful, and so they feel that, and they feel more respected, and that's why they also thank me much more, because I thank them for the small things they do. And this is for me at the moment the most biggest success I had in life. Just, it's so small, these thank yous, but it's huge, and it means a huge change in myself. And I really wish that you can get to work on yourself, do the inner work, and also see small changes in your surrounding. And I really encourage you just to be courageous and not think, why should I do this? Or why is this? What will this bring to me? But just do what feels great to you, and just be yourself and love yourself. And yes, I love you too. I'm so happy that you're listening to my podcast, and I really want to thank you, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week, and we will speak again next week. Have an amazing day.